All right, now we're going to move on to another story, and this is going to be one of the Tankapalooza teams, and that is, of course, the Dallas Mavericks. And this is a story coming from Real GM, which they got it from Eddie Scafao. I don't know, the Dallas Morning News, whoever that guy is. I'm sorry if I really screwed up your name. But anyway, the real story is that the Mavericks are opening to using their cap space before the draft. What this means is that they're going to be looking to get some free agent signings. They're going to be looking to get some deals done. Obviously, some of the guys that they're going to be targeting is, of course, Julius Randle, Aaron Gordon, and Clint Capella. Obviously going to be restricted free agents. And also 3 other guys, Derek Favors, Will Barton, and Avery Bradley. Some other guys as well. What do we think of the Mark Cuban and his philosophy of tanking, telling everyone that he's openly tanking? What do we think of his moves, and what do we think this team will eventually get?
I don't agree with signing anybody before the draft, personally. It's just not my forte. I think it's kind of a mistake. And I also think it kind of reeks of desperation to be good right away. But it also just, I can see why, right? I can see why, because Mark Cuban is desperate to be a winner in the NBA again at all times, and I appreciate that he doesn't want to be stuck in Tanksville forever. Like some of these teams are just all right being there for 5 years. It's the process. It's the debate, the NBA debate of choice right now. But I do like the names they have listed. It just kind of depends on how much they're going to spend on these guys. Clint Capella is going to get max. Right, 22. He's might win an NBA championship. He's going to get max. Aaron Gordon probably max. Julius Randle maybe not, but he'd still get a lot. Probably max though.
Probably close to the max, but I think he won't get as much. I think there's other things to consider with that Lakers team and what happened.
The one thing I'd be really interested to see is if they were to sign any of these guys before the draft, you would semi-know what they were going to do with their pick, right? Because if they pick Clint Capella, they're probably not going to take Ayton or, a center in this draft.
Right.
So it would kind of eliminate any of the speculation for them. But what if they were to get 2 of those guys, right? I don't know.
I mean, I was just going to say, if we just look at their roster real quick, I just want to give the names of who they have. So obviously they have Nerlens Noel, Doug McDermott, Wesley Matthews, J.G. Barea, Salah Murji, Harrison Barnes, Dwight Powell, Dorian Finley-Smith, Seth Curry, Yogi Ferrell, Dennis Smith Jr., Dirk, who I think we said that probably will be retiring, but who knows? We have Maxi Kleber, Jonathan Motley, Jalen Jones, and Kyle Collinsworth.
Well, I mean, looking at that roster, there's 3 dudes that they're going to have next season, that they should have next season, right? Dennis Smith Jr., obviously. They have to keep Wesley Matthews because of his contract. Nobody's going to take that. And then Harrison Barnes, nobody wants that contract either, probably.
Yeah. I mean, there is a couple of things that are coming off the books. Obviously, Wesley Matthews is coming off not this year, but next year.
Yeah.
So that'll get rid of 18 mil, all that money that they spent on him. And also we got people like
Nick Roberts coming off.
Roberts. A lot of different guys that...
Nerlens is not playing there another season.
Nerlens probably not. They're probably seeing that they can trade him. And also Harrison Barnes is another big cap hit that... He hasn't been a bad player, but it's also... Is he more of just a third or even role player option?
I think he's a fourth. Your fourth guy on your starting lineup. It just depends on the direction they want to go, right? Because they have their player of the future, Dennis Smith Jr.
Right.
Obviously, he's their guy, but then they could take a guy like Ayton first in the draft. They might get the first, right? They're kind of
they won the tiebreaker for worst record. So right now they have the best odds of getting the number 1 pick. Not sure if that's going to be into fruition because there's numerous times where only 6 of the worst teams have gotten the number 1 pick. So it's not a lock per se since 1985 when the lottery started. So
what do we serious question coming up. Okay. What do we think about the Dallas Mavericks being in contention for one of these big trades, right? Because if they were to get a guy like Clint Capella, right, they don't want to just keep building, right? They don't necessarily want the first pick. So what if they traded the first pick away for something?
It'd be tough. I wouldn't mind it, but I don't know, who do you have in mind as to trade it? I mean...
We talk about Mr. Kawhi Leonard all the time. Do they have all the pieces to get him? Maybe not, but they do have the most valuable thing you could trade away, which is the first round pick.
Yeah.
Or the number 1 pick.
I'm just worried that they're not going to get enough pieces around Kawhi, and Kawhi will not stick long term with them.
Maybe.
Because I don't know, maybe he's tired of Dallas, the state of Texas. Maybe he's tired of
Texas, though. Maybe he wants to stay in Texas. He just doesn't want to play for the Spurs.
Maybe. It's tough to decide like what team is going to, or like what player is really going to go to the Mavericks and sign there. And it's also, we don't know where Kawhi Leonard's head's at right now in terms of if he wants to go to LA or whatever it is. But I think it would be an interesting topic to talk about, them trading that pick. I just don't know who you would trade it for, and the team would just go for a straight up swap.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a weird mix of agendas, right? Because you've tanked for the first pick, but you're also coming out and saying we're willing to spend the big bucks to bring these free agents in.
Right.
Those things don't really go together, right? Because you don't necessarily expect to win right away with the number 1 pick. Like, Markelle Fultz is a non-factor for the fact that the Philadelphia 76ers, not a non-factor, but they would be there without him.
Yeah.
You know? So...
Pretty much they were.
They were, really. You know, they made the playoffs without him being part of the team for the most part. So, I'm curious if they were to get a guy like Aaron Gordon, right? Are we going to waste Aaron Gordon's first couple years of being a Dallas Maverick, trying to compete with trying to train up a young guy, right? But then again, those guys that are named in this article, Julius Randle, Aaron Gordon, and Capella, all have levels that they can get up to. So they have years. They're all in their early 20s.
Right.
So maybe it is a long-term plan.
Yeah, I don't know where they go from here, because I would, depending on where they're going to get the pick, whether it's 1 or 2, they either get Ayton or Luka, who's most people's projections. I think if you're going to go for these free agents, which I see here, you probably go for Luka.
Yeah.
Kind of pair him up with Dennis Smith. Dennis, the more athletic guy. Luka, the more crafty scoring player. And then you also get a guy that kind of gives you the hustle points and rebounds, and like a Julius Randle. Or even Clint Capella, who's more of a defensive stopper for them. Aaron Gordon, to me, I'm not really sure about him fitting there if they're going to get
Kawhi.
Or
a Luka.
Or a Luka.
Yeah.
I think his best utilized suit for him would probably be a team where the point guard isn't the most athletic guy on the court.
Yeah. I agree. I think their best pick out of those 3 is Randle.
I think Randle, just because I think you get the best value for your buck.
I think so too. And he took incredible leap forward this year. So I think he's a good shot. I would take him, and then you get like a guy like you put him at the 4, and then you get Ayton at the 5 with Smith at the point guard. Can you imagine a more athletic starting 5 than those guys? That's insane.
To be athletic, obviously Ayton can stretch the floor. I mean, there's a lot of things that Ayton can do. There's a lot of things that Smith and Julius Randle can do. The only thing I'm worried about with Randle is, I don't know, because of the amount of times he was the go-to guy in the offense, because they want to kind of pepper him up to be like, oh, look, this is Julius Randle. Please take him.
Yeah.
Kind of prep him up for like a big trade.
He had big games, though, where he was good against good players. So I think he's just good, you know?
I mean, I think he's good too, but I don't know if like some of his numbers are skewed because they gave him the ball more.
I don't think they'll take Doncic, though. I don't think they need him, right? I think he's the best player, in my opinion. But they have Dennis Smith Jr. Luka Doncic is a point forward. That's what he's going to play in the NBA. So do they want a guy who's going to be the primary ball handler over Dennis Smith Jr.? I'd be curious to see. So I think their 2 options is Ayton or you trade it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see where it goes on from there.
Cuban's a lunatic, though. He's a lunatic. He might just be like, I want Kawhi Leonard. I'll give you everything for him. Please come play so we can win.
Yeah, it's just like some of the latest business decisions from him have been really bad.
Because he's crazy. He wants to win. Like, he makes crazy decisions.
But there's different ways to do it. I think he needs a new GM or a new person to come in the front office to really show him how to do a proper rebuild, in terms of, you don't have to be the worst team.
Yeah.
Almost like the Celtics, for example. You know, they were bad, but not as bad as...
Not that bad.
Not that bad. They got some picks in. They traded some players away. Obviously, you know, they finessed that whole Brooklyn Nets deal.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're doing all right. I think the Mavs are doing okay, right? Because keep in mind, they won a championship 4 or 5 years ago. And now they have Dennis Smith Jr.
But basically all those pieces are gone from that championship team.
They all
Except
got
for
old.
Dirk.
They all got old.
Yeah.
You know, that was just a weirdly old team. So they had Jason Kidd and Dirk on the team. So, but they already have solid pieces, and they could add an even greater piece in the draft. So they're doing better than the Kings.
I think the Kings could be a team scary in the future. I honestly think so. If they draft right in this draft, I think they could be a team that we could potentially see in the future being a playoff team.
I think the Suns.
No, the Suns will always be in like rebuild mode.
I think the Suns are going to be good next year. Suns 35 wins next year.
That's not a playoff team though.
I didn't say they were going to be in the playoffs. I just said they're going to be better next year. 35 wins compared to being the worst team in the league for 4 years.
Great, you're in the lottery again. That's awesome.
35 wins is not lottery. In tank.
Yeah,
league.
it is.
No.
Yeah, it is. Lottery is
I guess
from playoff.
They would be bottom of the lottery.
I mean, they're going to be stuck in lottery limbo. I think the Kings are a lot more closer to not being in lottery limbo than the Suns.
Than the Suns are?
Even though they have a star in Booker. I think the players that they have and the pieces that they have, I think they could be a good team next year.
You guys let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Who's closer, the Mavericks, the Suns, or the Kings? My pick out of all three is the Suns. I'm not kidding.
I think I'm going to go Kings on that one. I think they have some secret pieces that
they
I think could be good.
They have the worst management in the league.
They have the worst manager, but I think they actually were smart this draft and actually got some good players.
We'll see. Tell us what you guys think in the comment. Weird rabbit hole from the Cuban discussion about signing players before the draft. But what do you guys think about making some big free agency moves before the draft has even happened? Do you like that? I'm not a fan. I think you don't know what you're going to get out of the draft. Maybe somebody slips right before the draft and you just don't want Ayton anymore. You know, maybe he's not the guy you want and you've signed Aaron Gordon to this mega contract, but it's not going to work out. So I don't know. Tell us what you guys think.